Upon watching the King's Speech in class, I think there were two very important lessons that we can learn from the movie. So let's just jump right into the first one. The most important lesson that I learned in the movie was that you don't necessarily need to focus on who you're speaking to as much as what your message is, and getting that message out there. Because I think a lot of who you're speaking to can be accounted for when you're preparing your speech. But in the movie, we saw the king, having a nicely prepared speech, and he was just getting, incredibly distraught and nervous about who he was speaking to because he didn't want to make a mistake, he didn't want to slip up, and he didn't want to be looked down upon. So I think that's a major issue that we, have to see and we have to learn to overcome because, um, when you get too caught up in who you're talking to, that you're not necessarily going to get your message out there. And I think that it's much more important to get your message where it needs to be, as opposed to focusing on who you're speaking to, because he was just in general um, thinking way too much about what he was going to say and who he was speaking to. So if we can learn that, and we can look at the end of the movie how he was just more uh, invested in the message that he was trying to send and what he was talking about, as opposed to who he was speaking to. He became less nervous and he became more free. You saw that the quality of his speeches improved vastly. So I think that's something we have to take a look at. And then I think the second thing is, just kind of, in general, you have to learn to channel your emotions when you're speaking, and you have to learn to, not necessarily care so much about, being nervous about making a mistake, because near the end, yes, he did make mistakes, but that wasn't the end of the world, because he was saying what he had to say, and he was saying it in the right way, versus, in the scenes where he's in the factory, he's nervous about what he's saying, and he's thinking too much about it. So, if we can just kind of abandon those feelings and just go, towards delivering our message the way that we have to, I think that's what's very important. Thank you.